Hi, welcome to Knits Up. I'm your hostess, Mindy, otherwise known as KnitterCNY, and you can find me on Ravelry as KnitterCNY, and we have a podcast group over on Ravelry, the Knits Up podcast group, and we have a Facebook page and a Google Plus page. I don't use Instagram all that much, but if encouraged, I will post over there. This is going to be a short episode this week. It's been 5 or 6 weeks since I've recorded. I'm sorry that I haven't had a chance to do that. It's been a busy week, month and a half to 3 months at work. I work in an environmental lab and we are running samples because we're gearing up for summer and we're running a lot of samples. I've worked there 20 years and I've never seen it this busy before. That's a good thing though. So I'm going to talk about projects I'm working on and projects I am working on for the future, and then imagination knitting, I guess we could call it. So I'll be plucking stuff up from the bags that are right beneath me. This is going to get some love. This will be future knitting. This is actually a project from last year, and it is Bernat pattern. I think it's called the Vine Pullover, or the Leaf Pullover. Sorry, the Leaf Pullover. It looks like that. It's out of Cotton Ease from Lion brand, which is an acrylic and cotton mix. And then I'm going into the hazelnut colorway, which is down here, which is sort of brownish, greenish, the color of a hazelnut. And I saved the rest of the white to do some short sleeves. But this will be cute. It'll be like a little yoked cardigan. I'm through the most intricate bits of it, which were the leaf design parts, which really was pretty simple lace. And I've got all of the yarn for that, and I'm using a size 7 Deborah Norville needle. That's a wooden needle. I really like this. They're really highly waxed. I don't know what you call it, coated. So everything slips really smooth. It's almost, and the points are pretty pointy too. But it's a really nice needle if you say you have arthritis or something. It warms up well. But it slides pretty well. I'm surprised. The other big thing I've been working on is a blanket. And at first I thought this was going to be for my son, for my cousin's son who's graduating from high school and going to college. And the more I kept looking at it, the more I kept going, I don't think so. I think this needs to be for a girl. So this is actually going to be for my cousin. One of my other cousin's kids is graduating from nursing school, has graduated, has done her first interview, and she got her first job at a hospital up in the North Country, which is near the Canadian border. And I am going to make this for her, a big squishy blanket that she can use this winter, but yet still throw in the washer and the dryer. And the yarn I'm using for this is Lion brand Tweed Stripes, which is acrylic. I think it's 100% acrylic, memory serves. 100% acrylic, so you can throw it in the washer and the dryer. And the color is Lakeside. I bought it for $2.99 at Ollie's, so that's a good thing. The other big blanket, I'll stop talking. The other big blanket that I'm working on is the actual blanket that I'm going to give my cousin's son, who is graduating from high school. And this has just been started in the last couple of days, so I'm using the same type of pattern. I chained 100, and it's large. It fits over me with room on the side, but I wanted something that they could use as a blanket. I don't know if I should have made it thinner, but whatever. At this point, I'm just going to go until I run out of yarn. I've got some black, and then I've got the Deborah Norville Everyday Solids, I think it is. Let me find this. Deborah Norville Everyday Soft Worsted Anti-Pill. This colorway is, apparently we have a water theme today. This is Winding River. that is, it's got blues, grays, blacks, browns, but it works up really nicely. If I did it thinner in strips, it would have like wider progressions kind of a thing. And this is also 100% acrylic. It's really, really, really soft. I think I have 9 or 10 skeins of this, and it's 180 yards. But this is so readily available that if I need to make this longer, I can, because my cousin's son is 6 feet tall, but I want to make this blanket, you know, so it fits him and looks good. Let's see what else have we got. I am going to stop for a second and grab one project that I left out in the living room, unfortunately. Hi. Okay, actually I have grabbed 2 projects. I moved a suitcase and golly gee, there was a sweater there. So this is actually one I do want to resurrect for spring, because the back's done, and I think that the front is done. One of the fronts is done too. Let me start out with, this is a free download from Premier Yarns website. It is called the Lacy Arches cardigan for Deborah Norville Serenity Serenity Garden yarn, and I chose the crocus colorway, and it looks like that. Now this is showing up really, really gray. This is actually as purpley purple as you can get. It's like an iris color. Let's see if we can get any better. That's a little better, but not much. It's very, very purple. So this is the back, actually. The back is done. And how far am I on one of the fronts becomes the question. Okay, so apparently I'm pretty coming along on one of the fronts. I hadn't realized I was quite this far along. Pardon the drop stitch, but I'm about that far along in the front. I think part of the problem that I had with this cardigan was all of a sudden I realized if you hold these up side by side, you're going to find what I found. They have you make this sweater in pieces, and when they do that, the striping on the variegation changes. But at this point, I've got so much done of it, I'm just going to say, suck it up and move on. So that's, you know, so if I can do that, I've got enough color of that, and that's Draylon, which is a fancy word for saying it's acrylic, but a microfiber acrylic. The other pattern I have is the Bejeweled cardigan from Lion Brand. Let me pull that up quick on my phone. If I can spell Bejeweled cardigan. Lion Brand. Okay, this is for homespun, Lion Brand homespun. It looks like that. Basic cardigan. It has stockinette at the bottom and the wrists. I don't really like stockinette all that much for the bottom of the sweater. So I chose to do something different, which was do just a little bit of garter stitch. Now this is not going to show up the right way. This is called Petunia Stripes. This is not all blue. This has purple at the bottom. You can sort of barely see it if I pull out, but this goes purple, a blue, and then back to purple. And I'm doing this on size 10 Velocity needles from Susan Bates. Those are really nice too. They're a cheaper alternative to Addi Turbos, but they're available. You can get them online, the smaller sizes. They even go down to like a 2.25 millimeter, but I think they only come in 29 inch and 16 inch. It's a little weird. But I mean, they could really develop this as a line, and it's like they sort of went, eh, whatever. But they're really nice needles. And again, this is yarn from Ollie's, again, $2.99. And this is Petunia Stripes in Homespun. I think I have 6 or 7 skeins of this, and it only takes 7 skeins for the largest size. Let's see. Socks I am working on, which are, there's sort of a story with both of these. One set is a DK weight that looks like this, like so. And one of the needles fell out, obviously. You can tell that. I'll fix that later. This is on size 3 needles, and it's Regia K Facet in the 05950 colorway. It's got all sorts of different colors, and I'll hold up one that's not in use so you can kind of see that. I bought this for a friend for Christmas a few years ago, and she said to me the other day, I really am not going to make socks. Why don't you take it back? And I said, okay. And I started cleaning yarn out of my stash, and gave her a lot of, not a lot, but quite a bit of yarn that I was not going to use. I knew she would use, and I'd rather have it used than sit in a box someplace at my house and not get used, because at this point I'm trying to clean out the house. We'll see how that goes. It's obviously messy, but oh well, them's the breaks. The other pair that I resurrected of socks is Knit Picks Felici and Abracadabra. We've seen these casted on about 4 different times. This is actually fluorescent green. This is getting kind of washed out. Let's see if I turn off the light if it makes a difference. Nope, it just makes it dark. It just makes it dark. Anyways, so this is Knit Picks Felici. And this is a collage needle that I got. I close out at Tuesday morning. They're square, and it's a little weird. This is a 2.5 millimeter, I think. Anyways, yeah, it's a 2.5 millimeter. This has a firm cable. Trust me, if you are doing socks with a collage needle and you say, I know there's something about a soft cable and a firm cable, trust me, you want the firm cable. Because what I'm going to show you, no lie, this is the soft cable. This has the consistency of overcooked spaghetti noodles. It's literally, there is no memory whatsoever in it. It's like a really bad plastic shoelace. Now you could knit on this if you really wanted to, if you don't want any memory or anything, but I made the mistake of buying the soft cable. Not really the way to go. And then the other needle that I bought while I was at Tuesday morning is, pardon me, is a Sonics circular knitting needle by Collage. And these are actually round. These are not square. And this is a 2.25 US size 1. Firm cable, obviously. I just wanted to have another needle in the arsenal for my socks, and I usually do 2.25, sometimes 2.5, and then those DK K Facet socks are on a size 3, which are just some Hobby Lobby needles I had. Future knitting. I'm going to grab my phone because I've got the pattern pulled up for what I'm knitting. My goddaughter is going to be turning 5 in December, and I've made her rainbow sweater ever since she was born. She's gone through 2 or 3 different ones, I think. Maybe just 2. But the latest one had a hood, rainbow buttons, and I used Bernat Mosaic yarn, which was fantastic. I was heartbroken when they discontinued it because it's a great yarn. It looks like it was space dyed. It's fabulous. And I asked her what she wanted in a sweater this year, and because the sleeves, at first the sleeves were folded over, then the sleeves were just long, now the sleeves are inching up here because she's getting taller. But the sweaters fit her for like 3 years, I think. So I'm going to make the next size up. She's a size 5 now, so I'm going to make like an 8, I think, just because it'll be loose. We'll see how that goes. She wants a hood, and she requested pockets. She was very specific about the pockets. She didn't want pockets that you just put your hands down into. She wanted pockets that came in from the side. The child knows what she wants. So I'm making this sweater for her, which will be, this is the picture that goes from Ravelry. This is the Plum Pudding Cardigan by Elena Noel. Sorry, Elena Nodell. Elena Nodell, Plum Pudding Cardigan. This is what it looks like from the side. There's pockets. So it's a fabulous pattern. I haven't used it yet. It goes from 12 months to kids size 14, 12, 14. And it tells you exactly how many yards you need. You can make it either long sleeve or short sleeved. It calls for circular needles. And then it tells you even where to buy the buttons that are on the model sweater. It looks great. There's only been 16 of these made. There was a sweater that was in the Classic web letter that was featured at one point a few years ago called the Fiona sweater, which is what the original design was called. The copyright reverted back to Elena Nodell, and this is her redesign of it with some modifications, slight modifications, and I think she extended the size range maybe. Not really sure on that. But for the goddaughter, I asked her, I narrowed it down to 2 choices. The first one is something I got as mill-ends at Joann's. I came across this maybe 6, 8 months ago, and I have no idea what it is. It's rainbow, but it's short pieces of rainbow. I don't know how to explain it other than that. If you can see, this is, like it goes from red to blue to, they kind of blend into each other. So it would be blips of color and not stripey. I thought she wanted stripey, so I got really excited when I saw this debut a couple months ago, which is Lion Brand Shawl in a Ball, and went, ooh, look, it's rainbow. This color is called Restful Rainbow. So I sent away to Joann's. I think it was on sale, and I might have had a coupon even to go with it. So I got 2 skeins, and they normally retail for $10 a skein. And I think I got it on sale for $8 plus the coupon. They have some pattern support for this. The idea is that one skein of this, one ball, will make a shawl. So they have a whole bunch of shawl patterns. That's one of them, and that's that actual color of Restful Rainbow. The yardage on this is 518 yards and 473 meters. It's a 4, which is a medium weight yarn, and then there is also, it's 58% cotton, 39% acrylic, and 3% other fiber. I showed her, I said, goddaughter, what do you want? Do you want this or do you want this? And surprisingly, she actually picked this. I had done a few rows, 4 or 5 rows on maybe 20 or 30 stitches across, so she could kind of see how the skein would work up. And I said, it's not going to stripe. And she goes, that's perfect. I don't want stripes. And she also said, I said, well, do you want like the bumpy side out, because I did a stockinette swatch, or do you want the plain side out? And I just kind of showed her how they looked, and she said, I want the bumpy side out, which is perfect because that plum cardigan, plum pudding cardigan has the bumpy side out for most of the body, and then it has ribbing. So that'll kind of break up any like distinct color weirdness there and pooling, hopefully. I'm kind of excited about that. I have 6 skeins of this, so I can make her sweater this year. I can make her sweater in a couple of years. I'll have enough yarn, which hopefully will be okay. So that's all I've got for you guys, but that's a lot. I think we're at 20 minutes now. Hopefully I can edit this down so it's pretty decent, and I'm going to upload directly to YouTube. I don't know if I'm gonna go through Libsyn anymore. I'm debating that. Leave me a comment in the either the YouTube thread or more likely to read it in the Ravelry group. I've asked this before. Libsyn only lets me upload 100 megabytes a month. So I could, in theory, go to YouTube and go a week, every couple of weeks, and be more consistent in the way that I upload. But I know a lot of my viewers get their feed through iTunes. So let me know what you think. I may even put a poll up there because I know that clicking on a box is a lot easier than typing crap. So again, go to Knits Up podcast group over on Ravelry. Comment, do you still want it through iTunes and Libsyn? Would you only like it through YouTube? What are your thoughts? Thank you and have a great week, guys.